in Mansfield today. I'm on my own today. Jeremy sent me out amongst the wolves. Please, guys, I'm going to touch on something very sensitive and very heavy, and something weighs heavy on me. And I'd like you to really listen and embrace what I'm going to share with you. This ongoing violence against women and children and against other individuals has got to stop. The scourge that we face in this country of ours and globally, I've had enough. We've had enough. The country's had enough. So I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to discuss a little bit about domestic violence in its holistic approach, and then some very new, interesting law that is coming into play and developing very quickly now. And thanks to you, this is happening. So let's start with this. What is domestic violence? Okay. Well, the Bill of 1998 makes it very clear. Domestic violence isn't only a violent physical act. It can be anything from stalking, to bullying, to verbally abusing another individual, okay? Male or female, child, old person. It has got to stop. It's unbelievable how out of control this is, and almost the rights some people think they have. A friend of mine asked me last week, so you've been talking about cyberbullying. How does that relate to domestic violence? Where's the connection? Well, cyberbullying is a form of violence. You're attacking someone's integrity, you're demeaning them, but the most important thing, and this is where I'm going to start now, is I think it's the nature of the person who's involved in this sort of stuff. The person who cannot control themselves. They're a natural bully, whether it be cyberbullying, whether it be physically hurting somebody, verbally offending and hurting somebody's feelings, breaking somebody down to make them feel nothing. It's very much a narcissistic approach, one, and often psychopathic. I put it to you, if you have these tendencies, go and get help. It's unacceptable, it's socially unacceptable. So very recently, the president has said enough, especially after those sad murders down in the Cape. There were 2 murders of students and a young boxer, absolutely traumatic. So, what can you do when violence is happening to you? What do? Well, I would put it to you, you can get a protection order and go and do it. You don't deserve to be bullied, hurt, demeaned. It is unacceptable practice. So, what's happening? With all this going on, the president is now pushing, and soon will be in law. We're going to have 3 new developments. The first one is the bill to amend criminal law around sexual offences and related matters. I put it to you that this is imperative. There's going to be a far better description of what sexual offences are. And they go far more than just physically sexual offences. They go about violence. Violence in all sorts, verbally, emotionally. So what's this going to do? This is now going to make reporting and reporting duties far stricter. Far, far stricter. If you're aware of it, even if you're aware of old people being bullied, you will be expected to go and report this and take action on it. They're very important as well. There will be a national registry. Think about this. There will be a registry that will be put forward. If you are one of these offenders, it will be recorded and it will be visible. And I think that's right, because this practice is unacceptable. We need all of you, all of us. It takes a village to bring up a child, okay? But it also takes a bad culture to destroy a village and destroy a society. What's the second one that's coming up? Well, the Criminal and Related Matters Amendment Bill. Wow. This is mainly due to the public outcry, okay? It goes a lot further than just gender-based violence. Okay? It goes into the depth of what the court will consider when giving someone bail. This is very important because it's been coming up. These offenders are walking the streets. They get out on bail. What's going to happen now is that the victim will be consulted by the court. Okay? Exactly what has happened. In the past, this didn't happen. The victim wasn't always there. The victim was hidden away. The victim will have a say as to whether this person even gets bail. And then when we get down the line to parole, the family and the victim the family of the victim and the victim, will be allowed to have their say before a person gets parole. So in other words, the whole process is tightening in. The circle is tightening in on these offenders, these unacceptable offenders. Right, so where do we get to? The third one that's coming up. Now these three acts they've actually already been, through cabinet and approved. They're just unfolding with certain inputs from certain people. The Domestic Violence Amendment Bill, There will be this digital repository where it will all be recorded. And also, if this goes through, you'll be able to get an online protection order. You won't necessarily have to go all the way through the court process. You'll obviously have to go to the police, open a CAS number, police file, get the documents together. But you will be able to get an online protection order. The danger with this, the difficulty is, in my mind, and I think some scholars feel the same, is if it's in a home, in the same home, and this order is done, and this person receives it electronically via email, one doesn't know how that person will behave and the effect thereof and the violence that may ensue. So we have to think very carefully about how this is done. But remember, these orders, just what is a protection order? Let me help you with this. It's more than just saying, you may not beat me again. It goes a lot further. It will be like, it will be, you can't come into my space, even if we're living in a home. And this act will do something different as well. So it's not only people who are married. It's always the thought of we're married. It'll be people who are boyfriend and girlfriend in any environment. It doesn't have to be in the home. If you are going to abuse another person, you will suffer the consequences of this. I beg and I plead on you, children, women, even men who are assaulted by their wives, I beg, please, take it forward. It's not acceptable. Nobody is allowed to bully you. Nobody is allowed to hurt you. Nobody is allowed to emotionally break you down. You deserve more. This is why this is such a sensitive issue and why I'm bringing it up. We can't speak enough about this. We have to get the scourge out of our culture. You know, a last thing. There are some men that believe, because they are married or they're in a very long relationship, that sex is automatic. The other party cannot refuse. Well, you can refuse. You have these rights. Please look after yourself. Please take this seriously. Please share the show. I take it personally when I see so much damage and harm going on out there. Let's look after each other. Have a great week. Thank you.